Your words are literally creating your reality right now, not as a metaphor, but as an ancient technology that modern science is only beginning to understand. Have you noticed that in some areas of your life, manifestation works effortlessly, while in others, nothing changes despite your best efforts? This isn't random. It's a direct message about what the ancient Egyptians understood perfectly: the difference between what you want and what you actually express through your energy and words. You've found this revelation now because you're ready for what Thoth, the divine keeper of creation's blueprint, preserved for this exact moment in your journey. This isn't just another manifestation technique. This is the original creative science that explains why some people manifest with ease, while others struggle despite using identical methods. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the code that instantly shifts your creative capacity, the same formula encoded in temple walls thousands of years ago, waiting for those ready to receive it. Are you one of them? Let's find out. The first revelation from Thoth's wisdom is both simple and profound. Every word you speak creates a specific energy pattern that shapes your physical reality. Think about areas in your life where you're stuck. Now recall the exact phrases you regularly use to describe those situations. I can never save enough money. Relationships always become complicated for me. I'm not creative enough to pursue that. My body just doesn't respond to healthy habits. These aren't just descriptions, they're blueprints that your reality faithfully reproduces. The ancient Egyptians understood this with remarkable precision. To them, Thoth wasn't just another deity. He held a unique position, the divine intelligence that bridges thought and reality, idea and manifestation, the unseen and the seen. On the Shabaka stone, one of the oldest records of Egyptian theology, we find a profound detail. While Atum's heart generated the desire for creation, it was the tongue, symbolized by Thoth, that gave shape to that desire. The heart thinks, the tongue manifests, and Thoth represents both. This isn't mythology. This is a sophisticated understanding of reality's mechanics. When you speak, you're not just communicating, you're broadcasting a creative frequency. Dr. Masaru Emoto showed how water forms beautiful or chaotic crystals in response to different words. Your body is over 70% water, and the world around you responds just as sensitively to what you express. Right now, think about something you've been trying to manifest. What words do you regularly use when talking about it? Those words are creating patterns that either align with or contradict your desires. This explains why affirmations often fail. When you say, "I am wealthy," while feeling poor, you create discord. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you authentically express. The second revelation unveils a powerful code hidden in plain sight, a word you've heard your entire life, but whose true meaning was deliberately obscured. Abracadabra. You've seen it as a magician's catchphrase, a silly word for pulling rabbits from hats. But what if I told you it contains the exact formula for conscious creation? This ancient word comes from Aramaic, Avra-kadabra, Avera-kedabra, which literally translates to, I create as I speak. It's not a magical incantation. It's a precise description of how reality functions. When you understand this principle, everything about manifestation changes. In practical Kabbalah schools, abracadabra was written in the shape of an inverted triangle, losing one letter per line until only a single point remained. This symbol represented the collapse of creative energy into a single point of consciousness, the exact process that occurs when your expression becomes coherent enough to manifest. Eliphas Levi, one of the most influential occultists of the 19th century, said abracadabra wasn't decorative, but a formula of concentration, bringing the many into the one, just as manifestation brings multiple possibilities into a single reality. The power doesn't lie in the word itself, but in the principle it represents. Conscious, aligned speech creates reality. Look at someone you know who effortlessly manifests their desires. Listen carefully to how they speak. You'll notice they rarely complain, rarely contradict their desires with their words, and speak with a natural confidence that assumes their desires are already manifesting. They're not doing this as a technique, they're naturally aligned with the abracadabra principle. What would change if you began treating every sentence as a creative declaration rather than a description? What reality would you speak into existence? Not everyone who discovers these principles can immediately apply them. This brings us to the third revelation. Manifestation power requires inner readiness. The Egyptians encoded this warning in the legend of the Book of Thoth, a story with profound implications for your manifestation journey. According to ancient records, there existed a hidden book attributed to Thoth, kept in a chest surrounded by serpents, sealed with layers of protection. Inside it were two spells, one allowing control over the elements, another enabling direct communion with the gods. But what happened to those who accessed this power before being internally prepared? Naneferkaptah found the book, broke the seals, and read the spells. His reward? Personal devastation. His son died, his wife died, and even though he kept the book, he couldn't escape the consequences of his unreadiness. Later, Setna sought the same book, driven by desire for power. His mind became overwhelmed with illusions, his family endangered, his soul nearly destroyed. This isn't just a cautionary tale. It's a precise description of what happens when manifestation power meets internal contradiction. Consider someone who manifests sudden wealth while carrying deep unworthiness beliefs. The internal conflict often creates self-sabotage, relationship problems, or unexpected losses that return them to their original state. The book wasn't dangerous in itself. It was a mirror revealing whether the soul was ready to sustain new power. You can see this pattern everywhere. People who win lotteries often lose everything within years. Relationships manifested from neediness frequently become toxic. Career advancements achieved through misaligned methods rarely bring fulfillment. This is why many of your previous manifestation efforts may have faltered. It wasn't that your techniques failed, it was that your internal alignment wasn't sufficient to sustain what you were calling in. The true initiation isn't in obtaining power, but in becoming someone who can hold it with balance. Ask yourself, what am I truly ready to sustain? What level of abundance, relationship, or success am I genuinely prepared for? This isn't about limiting your desires, but about honestly assessing your current capacity. The good news is that this readiness can be developed, and this is exactly where Thoth's wisdom becomes transformative. The fourth revelation explains why manifestation is not random but precisely measured. Your reality is under constant judgment, not by an external force, but by the natural law of correspondence. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, we find one of history's most powerful metaphors, the weighing of the heart ceremony. The newly departed soul stands in the hall of judgment. At the center, a scale. On one side, the feather of Mahat, representing cosmic truth. On the other, the heart of the deceased. Thoth records the results as Anubis adjusts the scales. This isn't a religious myth. It's a sophisticated explanation of how reality works. This judgment isn't after death. It's happening right now in every moment of your life. The scale weighs one thing: congruence between your inner state and your outer declarations. When they align, manifestation flows naturally. When they conflict, reality reflects that discord back to you. Look at your current circumstances as a precise measurement of your recent output. Areas of struggle show where internal contradiction exists. Areas of flow reveal where you're in natural alignment. Modern quantum physics confirms what the Egyptians knew: the observer affects the observed. Your consciousness isn't separate from what you experience. It's creating it through resonant attraction. Research shows how emotions generate measurable electromagnetic fields that extend beyond your body, affecting your environment and attracting corresponding experiences. This explains why positive thinking alone often fails. You can think positively while emotionally broadcasting fear, creating what scientists call cognitive dissonance and what the Egyptians would call an imbalanced scale. Your life doesn't respond to what you wish for. It responds to your dominant energy. This isn't punishment, it's feedback. When manifestation fails, the scales are showing you exactly where internal alignment is needed. To shift this balance, start with honest self-observation. What emotions dominate your daily experience? What words do you consistently use when describing your challenges? Where do your actions contradict your stated desires? These questions reveal where your heart and the feather of truth are out of balance. Remember, Thoth doesn't judge desires, he records what we express. The universe doesn't operate on worthiness but on coherence. The fifth revelation provides the exact blueprint for manifestation. The pathway creation must follow and the elements that must be in balance. Imagine your desire as a drop of water at the top of a mountain. For it to reach the valley below, your physical reality, it must flow through specific channels without disruption. Ancient wisdom traditions mapped this pathway as creation's journey from thought to matter. All manifestation begins with pure intention, then passes through clear thought structure, emotional harmony, and finally a template stage before materializing in physical reality. This isn't abstract philosophy. It's a practical diagnostic tool for your manifestation process. When someone says, "I want financial abundance," but thinks detailed thoughts about lack, feels anxiety about money, speaks words of limitation, and takes actions based on scarcity, their manifestation is distorted at every level. The result? Either nothing manifests, or they receive distorted versions of their desires, perhaps money that comes with unexpected problems or disappears quickly. This pathway explains why visualization alone is insufficient. True manifestation requires alignment across all levels of being. The ancient symbol of the pentagram provides another way to understand this alignment. Far from being a cult, this five-pointed star represented the five elements necessary for balanced creation. Earth, your physical actions and environment. Water, your emotions and subconscious patterns. Air, your thoughts and mental clarity. Fire, your energy and passionate drive. Spirit, your higher awareness and purpose. When these elements are balanced within you, manifestation becomes natural. When any element dominates or weakens, manifestation distorts. Someone with strong passion but weak practical action often experiences exciting starts without completion. Someone with strong ideas but weak emotional alignment creates detailed plans that never feel fulfilling. Examine your own elemental balance. Are your daily habits aligned with your desires? Do your emotions support or contradict your intentions? Are your thoughts clear and focused or scattered and doubtful? Do you maintain passionate energy toward your goals? Are your desires connected to deeper purpose? This self-assessment reveals exactly where adjustment is needed for manifestation to flow without distortion. The sixth revelation uncovers what most manifestation teachings completely miss: the critical role of silence in the creation process. After discovering the power of the word, many practitioners make a crucial mistake. They fill every space with affirmations, declarations, and techniques. But the ancient Egyptians knew a profound truth. Before the creative word comes, the fertile silence. In Egyptian mystery schools, initiates took a vow of silence before learning the creative arts. This wasn't censorship, it was preparation. They understood that speech born from a noisy mind creates only more noise. Words that emerge from silence carry transformative power. Think of a still pond. When you drop a pebble into chaotic, disturbed water, the ripples are irregular and quickly dissipate. But when you drop that same pebble into perfectly still water, the ripples form precise, expanding circles that travel much further. Your consciousness works the same way. Declarations made from mental chaos create weak, contradictory signals, but words emerging from inner stillness generate powerful, coherent waves of manifestation. Have you ever noticed how your best ideas come in moments of quiet, in the shower, upon waking, or during a peaceful walk? This is the power of silence at work. Brain research confirms this wisdom. Your brain's autopilot system constantly generates thoughts, judgments, and worries. This mental chatter creates what scientists call neural noise that prevents clear transmission of intentions. Meditation and mindful silence temporarily quiet this system, allowing new patterns to form, literally creating space for new realities to emerge. Thoth, as divine intelligence, represents both the word and the silence from which it emerges. This balance is essential for manifestation. Many spiritual traditions echo this understanding. Before God spoke the universe into being, there was void. In the silence, God speaks. Be still and know. These aren't poetic platitudes, but precise instructions for manifestation. Begin incorporating sacred silence into your practice. Before making declarations or setting intentions, spend 2 to 3 minutes in complete mental stillness. When facing important decisions, create space for clarity before speaking about options. After noticing negative speech patterns, pause in silence before offering new expressions. Remember, the quality of your silence determines the power of your word. The seventh revelation brings everything together into daily practice. How to live as the conscious creator Thoth's wisdom reveals you to be. This 3-part alignment ritual takes just minutes, but recalibrates your entire creative field. Before engaging with the world each day, sit in complete silence. This isn't meditation, it's clearing space for creation. Place your feet firmly on the ground, straighten your spine, and breathe deeply. Let thoughts arise without attaching to them. You're creating the still pond from which powerful ripples can emerge. This silence isn't passive, it's highly active, establishing sovereignty before external influences can program your day. From this silence, choose one statement that embodies what you're ready to sustain. The key is authenticity over ambition. Your declaration must feel true at every level of your being. Instead of "I am wealthy," if that creates internal conflict, use "I'm consciously improving my relationship with abundance." Instead of "I am in perfect health," if your body contradicts this, use "I'm honoring my body's wisdom and supporting its natural healing." Instead of "I attract my perfect partner," if you feel unready, use "I'm becoming someone who can sustain healthy love." Speak your chosen statement 3 times while physically grounded, feet on floor, spine straight, and fully present. Feel the words in your body. This isn't an affirmation, it's a tuning fork that sets your frequency for the day. Now, perform one simple morning activity as a physical embodiment of your declaration. Make your bed with full presence. Prepare food with gratitude. Write a single aligned sentence in a journal. The action itself matters less than the consciousness you bring to it. This action grounds your expression in the physical world, what the Egyptians would call bringing it into form, or what modern physics calls collapsing the probability wave into particle form. Throughout your day, become the observer of your speech patterns. When you catch yourself in misalignment, use this 3-step reset. Pause and breathe. Create a moment of silence. Either remain silent or speak a more aligned truth. For example, if you catch yourself saying, "I never have enough time," pause, breathe, and either remain silent or reframe. "I'm learning to focus my energy on what truly matters." The key isn't perfection, but conscious awareness. Each time you interrupt a negative pattern, you weaken its hold on your field of creation. The entire practice takes just 5 to 10 minutes each morning, with brief moments of awareness throughout your day. This small investment produces remarkable shifts within a single week. If you practice this ritual for 7 consecutive days with genuine presence, you'll experience a noticeable shift in your manifestation results. Not because you've learned a technique, but because you've remembered what Thoth has been waiting to reveal. You're not just speaking words, you're creating worlds. As you integrate this wisdom, recognize there are 3 levels of practice. First, simply observe your patterns without judgment. Notice the connection between your speech and your reality. Next, begin consciously interrupting negative patterns and introducing periods of silence. Finally, start actively generating new patterns aligned with your desired reality. Progress through these levels naturally, without forcing. Each person's timing will differ based on their readiness. You didn't find this video by accident. The fact that you've stayed until this moment confirms what Thoth recognized. You're ready for this remembrance. You are the living book of Thoth, the tablet upon which this ancient wisdom is now being inscribed. Not as external knowledge, but as remembered truth. The scales of Ma'at are constantly measuring. Your field is always responding. And Thoth is eternally recording the correspondence between your inner state and your outer reality. What will you choose to inscribe upon the tablet of your life? Start today with the simple 3-part ritual. Experience the shift that occurs when your words, thoughts, emotions, and actions align with cosmic order. Share your experience in the comments below. Your journey inspires others who are also awakening to this remembrance. Remember, you're not just speaking words, you're creating worlds.